So, Joseph Robinette Biden 2. That's right. Let me say that again. Joseph Robinette Biden 2.
Good news is, for me, I'm here. The bad news for you is, I'm coming back.
He's weighed in. Y'all, I would like to announce the Joseph Robinette Biden 2. Not 3. I want to be very clear. Not 3. We had a third model of the Joseph Robinette Biden series. Third model had some glitches. Didn't really work out so well. So we're still dealing with the second model. And also probably not working out so well. But that's a whole different story. Anyway. President Biden of the Joseph Robinette variety strongly condemns Molotov cocktail attack on Wisconsin anti-abortion group. The attack comes as the Supreme Court is expected to overturn Roe v. Wade. Now, I just want to say, there's a lot to say on this subject. A lot to say on this subject. And so we're going to say it. So let's scroll down. I'm reading this. There's many outlets that are reporting on this. I'm choosing to read the one from Fox News because I want to see what they say. President Biden, quote, strongly condemns the arson attack on a Wisconsin anti-abortion group, a White House official said. The White House released a statement roughly a day after an unknown assailant threw at least one Molotov cocktail into an office of Wisconsin Family Action, WFA, a pro-life activist group. President Biden strongly condemns this attack and political violence of any stripe. Oh, wait. So, okay, hold the phone. President Biden condemns political violence. So, that means he condemned the drone strike that killed, 7 or 8 kids in Afghanistan after he left the war, after he withdrawed from Afghanistan. He's like, let's just drop a couple bombs, kill some kids, just for old time's sake. Did he condemn that? Does Joe Biden condemn the political violence that leads to 1,000 people being murdered at the hands of police officers every single year? Does he condemn that political violence? Does he condemn the political violence that losing access to abortion is going to have on literally more than 50% of the population, right? Does he care about political violence there? Does he care about political violence when it comes to million people dying from COVID? Well, the White House is lying about COVID numbers. They're pretending that we haven't hit 1 million deaths yet. They're saying, oh, when we hit 1 million deaths, we'll do something, even though we hit 1 million deaths 2 months ago, right? And also, they're not even doing any, they completely revamped all the guidelines, right? They're just basically embracing mass death, right? It's only political violence, right, when it's someone going up against an oppressor. When it's the oppressor oppressing people, right, with the system, murdering people via police violence, murdering people via lack of healthcare access, murdering people in other forms or ways, drone strikes, making them lose their job because of outsourcing deals, making them go to work and get COVID and die, right? All of that kind of political violence is perfect. It's great. How else are we going to get rid of all the minorities, right? Because COVID, right, affects minorities more than it does white people. How else are we going to get rid of the minorities, right, Joe Biden, right? Joe Biden was recently, I don't know if I played this clip on the show, I don't think so, but Joe Biden recently said, at least back in my day, we would have lunch with segregationists. I don't know if anyone saw that clip, but very interesting. So Joe Biden with a very consistent record against political violence. Again, of course, he supported the Iraq war. And while he was vice president, I think Barack Obama, did a lot of drone strikes, killed a lot of kids. Barack Obama, but anyway, so he's against political violence unless he's the one doing it. The president has made clear throughout his time in public life that Americans have the fundamental right to express themselves under the Constitution, whatever their point of view, but that expression must be peaceful and free of violence, vandalism, or attempts to intimidate, the White House said in a statement. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki later tweeted the president's condemnation of the attack. POTUS strongly believes in the constitutional right to protest, but that should never include violence, threats, or vandalism. Judges perform an incredibly important function in our society, and they must be able to do their jobs without concern for their personal safety. Oh, so judges. They do an extremely important job in this society. What about people that make your food? What about people that grow your food, make your food, transport your food? What about the people that work at restaurants? Right? Do they have the right to have personal safety from COVID? Do they have the right to have personal safety in the form of, not being discriminated against? Right? Not being the victim of workplace abuse? Do they have the right to personal safety? Do waitresses and waiters that make less than minimum wage because there's some bizarre carve-out exemption, right? They make like what is it, like $4 an hour or something? Like, do they have a right to personal safety in the form of being able to pay the rent? All of a sudden, personal safety is a huge problem when someone shows up at Brett Kavanaugh's house with a megaphone and says, "You stink!" Then personal safety, oh shit. Oh shit, personal safety, oh fuck! Right? Like, last time I checked, none of the Supreme Court justices are at this Wisconsin fucking anti-abortion fucking fascist fucking building or whatever. Last time I checked. I could be wrong, but to my understanding, Brett Kavanaugh does not live in Wisconsin. I could be wrong. WFA President Julia... I don't care. So anyway, let's look at this. Let's look at the anti-abortion attack. I guess, but I don't know, pro-abortion attack. Depends on how you qualify the word attack. If abortions aren't safe, then you aren't either, is spray painted on the wall. Now, there's a lot to look at in this photo. A lot of people are saying it's a false flag. Now, personally, we have seen the right commit a lot of false flags over our, experience here. The right loves to make things up, to get mad at. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if it's a false flag. I don't know. Did someone actually, did a left-winger or someone who's ostensibly a left-winger actually throw a Molotov here? Well, my question is there video? Do you have security footage? This, to me, right, this is not evidence. To me, if there's a crime scene and the only thing you can post is this photo, I'm going to be honest, I need a little bit more. Now, that said, now again, keep in mind I'm on a YouTube show. I'm doing a program on youtube.com, which I am bound by the terms of service and guidelines. But let's assume it's not a false flag. Let's assume a left-winger actually did this. Hey, I'm just saying, I've never seen a left-winger spray paint in cursive. I'm going to be honest. Now, I could be wrong. But I have never seen an anarchist, write in cursive. And, this is, the neatest spray paint I've ever seen in my life. I'm just saying. I'm just being honest with you. I'm just being clear. I'm giving my opinion to the best of my ability. Look at this F. What kind of anarchist would do this? Right? Seriously. I'm just curious. This looks like something my second grade teacher would be writing. And then note, they're using the panel, right, as a way to keep their writing straight. Anyway, regardless of what or when or how or what, I have to say, once again, I want to remind everyone, I am on a YouTube show. But I want to see more evidence. Now, if it's true, if this is really, if this did happen, I want to know who to give. I mean, I want to know who needs to be interviewed on my show. I mean, I want to know, right? Like, who I should be following online. I mean, I want to know who I should condemn for this violent outburst. There we go. But all I know is that I have met a lot of anarchists in my life. I have met a lot of left-wingers in my life. No one that I've ever met that would actually engage in Molotov violence has ever written like this. I'm just saying. That said, if it is true, someone let me know and I'm going to get them on my show. Police are investigating the incident as arson and connected it to the recent revelations in Washington that the Supreme Court is likely to overturn Roe v. Wade in June. Why? That's the thing, though. Like, okay, so the Supreme Court's going to overturn Roe v. Wade in June. And so, let's go after this random anti-abortion group? Like, I don't know, like, wouldn't you want to go after the Supreme Court? Like, the state legislature? Why this random anti-abortion group? Right? Like, that's the thing. Like, I'm leaning on the side of it's a false flag. That's where I'm leaning. But honestly, I'm going to be honest. I hope it's not a false flag. Like, I mean, you know, it's a way to see where people stand, you know? Because, you know, I want to judge groups of people on what actually happens. I don't want to judge the left based on a false flag, right? So if this is an actual representation of the left, I would like to know that so that I can judge them accordingly. And there's no security cameras? I don't know. The Madison Police Department understands members of our community are feeling deep emotions due to the recent news involving the U.S. Supreme Court. Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes said in a statement early Sunday morning, our team began investigating a suspicious fire inside an office building on the city's north side. It appears a specific nonprofit, it appears, not to be, but just it appears, a specific nonprofit that supports anti-abortion measures was targeted. The incident comes just blah, blah, blah. Hey, I'm just saying, if this is true, if this is not a false flag, you know, maybe it's a good thing that there's no security cameras, apparently. But anyway, Joe Biden condemning this. Again, you can't take what Joe Biden says seriously. You can't, oh, I'm against political violence. Motherfucker, you declared victory on COVID as a fourth wave was surging or beginning to surge in the United States. Motherfucker, you directed the CDC to cover up the amount of COVID deaths, cover up the amount of COVID cases that there are in the country. Motherfucker, you're running to the right of Donald Trump on COVID. Like, you can't talk about political violence. You just can't. You just can't. That's my point. A president of the United States whining about, oh, political violence, eh? And then Jen Psaki, right, tweeting out that judges perform an incredibly important function in our society. In theory, maybe. In theory, but the judges in the Supreme Court do not perform an incredibly important function in our society. They just don't. Like, I would say that whoever, like, someone working at Wendy's, someone cleaning the bathrooms at a fucking, like, you know, gym, I would say that they do an infinitely more important function in our society than the Snuggie-wearing bedsheet fucking creeps ever possibly could. The fucking bedsheet beer boy fucking Brett. Quadruple B. This liberal pearl clutching. Oh, it's okay when fascists sentence people to death. That's fine. That's all good. It's okay when fascists go around and enact laws that get people killed. Like this. Is this political violence? Alabama law criminalizing gender transition surgery, drugs for minors, takes effect. Minors, by the way, quote unquote, aka 18 and 19-year-olds. Is this political violence? Does Joe Biden strongly condemn political violence when it comes to the queer community being under attack in almost every state in this country, including blue states? Does Joe Biden believe in political violence, or does he not believe in political violence when it comes to, you know, people being thrown in steel cages because they had a miscarriage? Anyway, my point is, I hate the president and I hate the Supreme Court. All these institutions are corrupt and they need to go. Anyway, let's move on.